Now, coming to Sowmya, I wanted to ask you a question where I hope you put on both the activist hat as well as a political representative's hat. One question, one common refrain that we found in all of our stakeholder interviews is that there is no political will in the political class to actually do anything about disability inclusion, which was one. How does one generate political will, and why do you think this is the case? Because everybody talks about this as something that needs to be done, but we don't see that reflected in the work of the political class. Second is we recommend that women with disabilities in particular are given political representation at all levels of governance, whether at the ward level, at the city level, at the state government level, and at the national level. So I was hoping you could touch upon both of these things. One is generating political will, and two, about representation of women, particularly women with disabilities in these, levels of governance. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Neha. It was really very enlightening listening to all the other speakers today. Yes, I mean, you were asking how do you generate political will? Well, I don't know where there's a will, there is a way. You have to make it happen. I think at the end of the day, I was just, I think it's about keeping that mind open and having to see at the end of the day, people's representative needs to realize that they represent everyone, right? And that could be women, that's people with disabilities, that's people who are trans, that's everybody cutting across caste, religion, and I think that's really kind of something that everyone needs to do at all levels. It could be the state government, it could be the central government, it could be the municipality as well. In fact, we have, the problem with our country is also it's not just related to this. We have brilliant laws, but the problem is with implementation. Yeah. And in fact, I also have worked with I'm an environmental engineer by qualification. I worked with human rights, animal rights, environmental rights, and it's the same issue with everywhere. I mean, for example, Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act was made in 1962, right? But we still kind of like. And I can just go on and on and on. We also spoke about the different laws. In fact, I think Dr. Redy also said that. I mean, it's about implementation. I think it trickles down to that, last mile, right? Yeah. It's the people, it could be, at the ward committee meeting. What is really being, people sitting in those chairs? Are they really kind of having that, mindset to have an inclusive, city, have an inclusive street, a locality, a park, a metro station. So I was just sharing with you and Sneha earlier. So this, I'm sure all of you have heard of DULT, Directorate of Urban Land Transport. So I work with a lot of, sure, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is something that we're actually working on, and coincidentally, you guys also, spoke about. I mean, you guys got in touch with me about, this white paper and this panel discussion as well. So a few citizen group called us WOW, Women of Wisdom. They and DULT, and of course applied for a grant called as Sowmya, Sustainable Urban Mobility Accord, right? So just picking one small space. So this is a place in JP Nagar, and I'm sure you've heard of Mobility India. It's a non-profit organization that works with people who are differently able, and also Samarthanam is also the organization. So this is the street, and this is the metro station. And all we're trying to do is just pick this one tiny place and take this on as a pilot and make sure that this is inclusive. could be the tiniest things, it could be walking, having a ramp, staircase. So it's so we've had multiple meetings with various different stakeholders, including, of course, people who are differently able, who actually walked and surveyed the entire area and what needs to be done as well, including the upcoming metro station that's going to come over here in JP Nagar. And including, for example, have, like the pedestrian highways are going to be more safe for the pedestrians over there, and for them to actually cross the street to, in fact, we can see these tiny stairs over here. And so yeah, I can just go on more about it, but I just want to show this one tiny example that we're actually doing in my constituency. And similar to this, we've also taken on all the playgrounds as well. I'm working with a few non-profit organizations called as who specifically work on sports, the Young Maitri Sports Academy, and a few other organizations who have.
Oh, there's a blurred. Yeah.
Is this better? Can you hear me? No?
Yeah, no, I think. Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. So I was just sharing earlier that we've also taken on the parks and also the grounds, playgrounds as well. As most of you know, a place like Bangalore is extremely landlocked. In fact, my constituency, Janagar, is in the center of the city. So having a space like a ground, have that be accessible to everyone. So we worked with a couple of organizations. So they worked with, they've also had wheelchair cricket, basketball, and they also helped us, they gave us suggestions to how we could actually retrofit and transform the entire ground that could be accessible for people who are differently abled as well. So we're doing this one after another. And of course, one thing that I've also taken on is I'm extremely passionate about education. In fact, you were speaking about the schools as well. So in fact, adopted all the schools, especially since 2 years. Since COVID, education has actually been massively affected, not just schools, but also colleges. The number of people who are coming to my office asking for fees reduction and everything is massively increased because a lot of people the parents have either lost jobs or have massive pay cuts or loss in business, whatever. So she adopted all the schools as well, and trying to kind of see how we could completely transform each and every government school in my constituency. We have about 13 of them. And so make that more inclusive. And of course, a few schools and colleges, we have students who are differently abled as well. And of course, also working with a lot of organizations who also work with intellectual disability and stuff like that. I think going back to your question, I think it's at the end of the day, each and every one of us, we have the choice, right? Every day, everything that we do, we have a choice. And I think if it could be, for example, it could be a corporator. A corporator is a elected representative at a ward level. Yeah. And that person is supposed to sit in the ward committee meetings. Yeah. And I think everything that we do needs to actually go from bottom up.
Yes, yes.
Rather than top down.
Yeah.
I think everything that we do, at a basic level, at a city level, needs to go bottom up. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so to make sure that these ward committee meetings are happening, properly, and making sure that we have the members are as diverse as possible, which also includes, women, which also includes women who are, with disability. And could we, and I think going that extra mile also like goes a really. We've also had job fairs for people who are, with disability as well. We are in Karanataka, yes, 3 years ago, and I think last year because of COVID we couldn't do that. I organized one in twice, but of course since COVID we haven't been able to do a massive one. So in fact, in the job fair, we also try to make sure it's not just for like also for trans people as well. In fact, Vidhi Cafe, I've heard of Vidhi Cafe, and it's just so inspiring. In fact, I used to run a restaurant earlier as well, and so I so I in fact hired a person who's a trans woman. So I think it's just making sure that first of all, it's that listening, right? And what are the lacunas that are out there, and making sure that, like everybody said, including it's about collaboration, and it's about making sure it's about, and it's very, I know I'm wearing the government hat right now, but it's terrible to work in the government. It's so, it's so difficult to get things done. Trust me. I can go on for 5 hours. Because so many issues, right? Corruption, at the end of the day, you need to get things done at the ground level. You need to have that will that you, like you said, to make sure. I might have that will, but that NGO may not want it. I might want to, like, he'll say, oh, there are no funds. For example, I took these non-profit they'd given me a plan and everything, but so it's at the end of the day, we need to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I'm sure things are going to, like Vasudha was saying, it's terrible the pace at which we are going at times, but we need to move in the right direction, I guess.
Thank you so much, Sowmya.